Guys, yesterday we talked about balancing chemical equations. So today we're going to look at whether or not equations are balanced or not. So if we look at this equation right here, you'll see that we have some elements here. And it's really important that you can count how many. So I have two H's. Balance means it's going to be equal on both sides. I have two H's here, two H's here. So my H's are equal. I have, let's see, I've got 1 and 2, and I've got 1 and 2. But I've got 1 and 2 oxygens here and only 1 here. So is it balanced? No. So it is not balanced because, I'm going to write B/C, the products should have, remember reactants and products on the right, should have 1 more oxygen. Okay, so it is not balanced because it should have 1 more oxygen. Okay, so we're going to erase all this. Be sure you type that, make sure it looks like mine did. Okay, and you can also check it with the answer key. So now let's go right here on number 20. You can press the plus sign and really listen to all of the things so that you can better understand what we are looking for. But let's say I am doing this one. Atoms are not created or destroyed during a chemical reaction. Therefore, there must be the same number of atoms on each side of the equation. To balance the chemical equation, you must add coefficients in front of the chemical formulas in the equation. You cannot add or take away the subscripts. Okay? Cannot add or take away the subscripts. Erase all this, and we're going to go to the next slide. Now, remember, you can use the speaker right there in order to decide whether or not your answers were right or wrong. Okay, so the first thing we do, if you notice right here, is we determine the number of atoms for each element. So I see that I have 1 Mg and 2 O's. On this side, I have 1 Mg and 1 O. This video right here shows you exactly how to do this. We pick an element that is not equal on both sides, so Mg's are equal, O's are not. And then we're going to make them equal. So we say, okay, O, I have 2 O's here, 1 O here. So what I can do is I can cross this out, and I'll make it a 2. Okay, so remember, we can change the coefficient, but we can't change the subscripts. So what I need to do is I need to do something up here to make that a 2. So I would have to put a 2 here. So what did that just do to my Mg? Now instead of having 1 Mg, I have 2. So I need to come right here and make this Mg a 2. And now I can't just do this, so I need to make it right in the formula. So I'm going to put 2 Mg. Now, to know if I'm done, I go, I have 2 Mg, 2 Mg, 2 O's, 2 O's. So I am done with that one. Okay? So if we move on to the next one, this one's a little bit trickier. We are going to look at right here. This one I have 2 N's, I have 2 H's. I have 1 N and 3 H's. So right off the bat, I notice that 3 and 2 are not equal. Okay, so what I want you to do is figure out how to make those things balanced. Okay, so the first thing I see is I've got 2 N's here and I've got 1 in here. So I can go ahead, cross this out, and make it a 2. So I come up here, and I can only put a number in front. Now I have 2 ends and 2 ends. So am I good? Well, what we don't notice is that 2 changed to H now. So 2 times 3 is now 6 H's. So what would I have to multiply 2 by to get 6? Because I can do that. I'm going to have 6 H's now. So I can multiply 2 by 3. So that's what I'd put there. So let's see if that works. Now I have 2 ends, 2 ends. 3 times 2 is 6 H's. 2 times 3 is 6 H's. So it worked perfectly. So let's try this bottom one. For copper, I have 2. I only have 1 oxygen and 1 carbon. Over here, I have 1 copper, I have 1 carbon, and I have 2 oxygen. Now, we're going to need to drag your little dots to the right spot. You're going to find that in this video, so be sure you watch the video, okay? Make sure you've done it right. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. So the first thing I see is that copper is not right. So I have 2 here and 1 here. So I'm going to go ahead and make, actually I kind of want to look at the oxygen first. So I have 2 here, 1 here. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out and make it a 2. So think about where you need to put your coefficient to make sure oxygen on this side of the equation is a 2. I would need to put it right here. Then you have 2 times 2 equals 4. Now I've got 4 coppers instead of just 2. But that also means that my carbon doesn't change, and over here it doesn't change. So let's look at it now. Now I've got 4 and 1. That's not equal, but I've got 2 and 2 and 1 and 1, so that's equal. Let's see if we can make this one equal. So since 1 can easily go into 4, we can cross this out and make it a 4. Now all I have to do is put a 4 in front of it. So let's look at it. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 coppers on this side. 2 oxygens, because this applies to everything. It applies to both of them. And then I've got 2 oxygens. And then we have 4 coppers, 4 coppers, 1 carbon, 1 carbon, 2 oxygens, 2 oxygens. So we are good there.